Shalom. I'm Brother Yawanathan, a servant for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, a prisoner of hope, a Hebrew Israelite scattered among the heathen. Listen, O isles, unto me, and hearken ye people from afar. Yahweh has called me from the womb, from the bowels of my mother has he mentioned of my name. And he has made my mouth like a sharp sword. In the shadow of his hand has he hid me, and made me a polished shaft. In his quiver has he hid me, and said unto me, Thou art my servant, O Israel, in whom I will be glorified. Yahweh Almighty has given me the tongue of the learned, that I should know how to speak a word in season to him that is weary. He waketh morning by morning. He waketh my ear to hear as the learned. Yahweh Almighty has opened my ear, and I was not rebellious, neither turned away back. Holy, 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 Yahweh Almighty. The whole earth is full of his glory, which was and is to come. Holy, holy, holy is the Lamb. Our first verse is John 14 and 12. More surely I say to you, he who believes in me, the work that I do, he would do also, and greater works than these he would do, because I go to my Father. So the Lord said that he who believes in Yahweh Shai, believe. Verse 29. And now I have told you before it comes, that when it does come to pass, you may believe. So we looked up believe, and that's Strong's G 4100. To think, to be true, to credit, place confidence in, to be entrusted with a thing, commit unto, committed to, trust, believer, put in trust with. The Edo Modern line, the Edomite line dictionary, belief, to have faith or confidence, hold dear, to love, to care, desire, love, be persuaded of the truth of a doctrine, accept it as true, believer, faithful, true believer, one who is full of faith. John 20 and 29. Let's start at 27. Then he said to Thomas, reach your finger here and look at my hand, and reach your hand here and put it into my side. Do not be unbelieving, but believing. And Thomas answered and said to him, my Lord and my power. Yahweh Shai said to him, Thomas, because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed. John 3:16. For Yahweh so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. So that belief is a gift from the Lord. Nothing to be looking over. And so if you have the faith of a mustard seed, so believing goes with faith. Believer, faithful, true believer, one who is full of faith. Second Timothy 4:7. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Yes. So that's what we ought to do. We fight the good fight, and keep the faith. Acts 6:5. And this, let's start at 3. Therefore, brethren, seek out from among you 7 men of good reputation, full of the Holy Spirit and wisdom, whom we may appoint over this business. But we will give ourselves continuously to prayer and to the ministry of the word. And the saying pleased the whole multitude, and they chose Stephen, a man full of faith and the Holy Spirit. Full of faith. That's what we should have. We should be full of faith of the Lord, knowing that he gonna bring us through, knowing that whatever we ask for, we shall receive. Hebrews 10:35. Therefore, do not cast away your confidence, which has great reward, for you have need of endurance, so that after you have done the will of Yahweh, you may receive the promise. For yet a little while, and he who is coming will come and will not tarry. Now the just shall live by faith. But if anyone draws back, my soul has no pleasure in him. But we are not of those who draw back to perdition, but of those who believe to the saving of the soul. So that's what we're doing. We're being full of faith, and that's what we encourage others to do, have faith, trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, that he's gonna pull us through. Galatians 3:26. For you are all sons of Yahweh through faith in the Mashiach Yahweh Shai. For as many of you were baptized into a Mashiach have put on a Mashiach. So baptized in His word, we put on Yahweh Shai through the faith, through our belief. Luke 17. Luke 17:17. So Yahweh Shai answered and said, let's start at 11. Now it happened as he went to Jerusalem that he passed through the midst of Samaria and Galilee. Then he entered into a certain village. There met him 10 men who were lepers, who stood afar off, and they lifted up their voices and said, Yahweh Shai, Master, have mercy on us. So when he saw them, he said to them, go show yourselves to the priests. And so it was that as they went, they were cleansed. And one of them, when he saw that he was healed, returned and with a loud voice glorified God and fell down on his face at his feet, giving him thanks. And he was a Samaritan. So Yahweh Shai answered and said, were there not 10 cleansed? But where are the 9? Were there not any found who returned to give glory to Yahweh except this foreigner? And he said unto him, arise, go your way. Your faith has healed you. Your faith has healed you. So his faith healed him. Ephesians. Ephesians 2:8. For by grace you have been saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of Yahweh, not of works, lest anyone should boast. But we are his. Get a new one. For we are his workmanship, created in Mashiach Yahweh Shai for good works, which Yahweh prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. Let's run that back. Ephesians 2:8. For by grace you have been saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of Yahweh, not of works, lest anyone should boast. For we are his workmanship, created in Mashiach Yahweh Shai for good works, which Yahweh prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. So the Lord prepared this beforehand for us to walk into it before the foundation of the earth. He prepared this for us, as it says in Ephesians 1:4. Just as he chose us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love, having predestinated us to the adoption as the sons by Yahweh Shah Mashiach to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will. So to the good pleasure of the Lord's will. Let's go to Hebrews. Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the subjects of them hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtain a good testimony. By faith we understood that the world were framed by the words of Yahweh, so that the things which are seen were not made of things which are visible. By faith Abel offered to Yahweh a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, though which he obtained witness that he was righteous. Yahweh testified of his gift, and through it he, being dead, still speaks. By faith Enoch was taken away, so that he did not see death, and was not found, because Yahweh had taken him. For before he was taken, he had this testimony, that he pleased Yahweh. But without faith it is impossible to please him. For he who comes to Yahweh must believe that he is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. By faith Noah, being divinely warned of things not yet seen, moved with godly fear, preparing an ark for saving of his household, by which he condemned the world, and became heritage of the righteousness which is according to faith. By faith Abraham obeyed when he was called to go out to the place which he would receive as an heritage, and he went out, not knowing where he was going. By faith he dwelled in the land of the promise, as in a foreign country, dwelling in tents with Isaac and Jacob, the heritage with him of the same promise. For he waited for the city which has foundation, whose builders and makers is Yahweh. By faith Sarah herself also received strength to conceive seed, and she bore a child when she was past the age, because she judged him faithful who had promised. Therefore from one man, and him a good as did, were born as many as the stars of the sky, in multitude innumerable as the sands which is by the seashore. These all died in faith, not having received the promise, but having seen them afar off, were assured of them, embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims of the earth. For those who say such things declare plainly that they seek a homeland. And truly, if they had called to mind that country from which they had come out, they would have had opportunity to return. But now they desire a better, that is, a heavenly country. Therefore, Yahweh is not ashamed to be called. Therefore, Yahweh is not ashamed to be called their God, for he has prepared a city for them. By faith, Abraham, when he was tested, offered up Isaac, and he who had received the promise offered up his only begotten son, of whom it was said, "And Isaac your seed shall be called," concluding that Yahweh was able to raise him up even from the dead, from which he also received him in figuratively sense. By faith, Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come. By faith, Jacob, when he was dying, blessed each of the sons of Joseph and worshiped, leaning on the top of his staff. By faith, Joseph, when he was dying, made mention of the departure of the children of Israel and gave instructions concerning his bones. By faith, Moses, when he was born, was hidden 3 months by his parents because they saw he was a beautiful child and they were not afraid of the king's commandments. By faith, Moses, when he became of age, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of Yahweh than to enjoy the passing pleasures of sin, esteeming the reproach of a Mashiach greater riches than the treasure in Egypt, for he looked to the reward. By faith, he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible. By faith, he kept the Passover and the sprinkling of the blood, lest he who destroyed the firstborn should touch them. By faith, they passed through the Red Sea as by dry land, whereas the Egyptians attempted to do so were drowned. By faith, the wall of Jericho fell down after they were encircled for 7 days. By faith, the harlot Rahab did not perish with those who did not believe when she had received the spies with peace. And what more shall I say? For the time would fall me to tell Gillickens and Barak and Samson and Jabstan, also of David and Samuel and the prophets, who through faith subdued kingdoms, worked righteousness, obtained promise, stopped the mouth of lions, quenched the violence of fire, escaped the edge of the sword, out of weakness were made strong, became valiant in battle, turned to fight the armies of the aliens. Women received their dead raised to life again. Others were tortured, not accepting, delivering that they might obtain a better restoration. Still, others had trials of mocking and scorn, yes, and of chains and imprisonment. They were stoned, they were sawed in two, were tempted, were slain with the sword. They wandered about in sheepskin and goatskin, being disdained, afflicted, tormented, of whom the world was not worthy. They wandered in deserts and mountains and dens and caves of the earth, and all these, having obtained a good testimony through faith, did not receive the promise. Yahweh has provided some things better for us, that they should not be made perfect apart from us. So by faith, these people obtain good favor from the Lord. And with that, we're going to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Shalom.